Greetings, viewers, and thanks for joining me out in the shop today. We already did the wiring in the truck. I narrowed those wires down. Now it's time to wire this up and narrow these wires down. Now, I have already done some of this and videoed it and then realized it was so confusing that I wanted to redo it a little bit. So I'll go over some of the things that I've already done. You might see a clip or two thrown in that I saved from the other video. Now I need to have these transmission wires going down for my transmission. That one's the speedometer. That one hooks up on the driver or passenger side, the right-hand side. That one hooks on the left-hand side. I don't know what all they do. There is an O2 sensor here. I don't know if it's up or downstream because I didn't label it. There's an O2 sensor here. There are wires for O2 sensors coming down through this. All right, now, I already taped up some of this because I thought I was kind of done with it, but turns out I'm not. I'm going to start taking this plastic stuff off and running back this way because I want to thin my harness down. I've got AC wires over here I'm not using right now, but I want to keep those in case I run AC later. I've got my starter wire plugged in, my low oil sensor, because why not? The one in the pan there. And then I've got the crank sensor plugged in over here, okay? So I need my crank sensor, I want my low oil sensor, I'm gonna leave my air conditioning wires, that's those two plugs down there, and that's my signal for my starter, okay? So that comes around the front in that little harness thing that had the plastic clippy thing on it and comes up here. That ground right there goes to the block, same as the one that comes off of this wire here. Now I took my my positive and negative batteries off. The ground strap has one that grounds to the frame, one that grounds to the engine. And that goes to my battery, that goes to my starter. Hope that's all making sense so far. Now, if you come up from the transmission back, I've got these sensors back here, and now I don't know what all of them are. I'm grounding all my grounds right here, and that's going to work okay. I've got everything plugged in that was plugged in before. Even though I may not need it, I don't know what they all are. But I think I have everything plugged in that makes it run. My throttle body, my injectors, again, pressure sensor, I don't know what that is. Injectors over here, coil packs plugged in. And then as we start moving forward from this point, that's where most of the stuff gets eliminated. Now I'll find out which one of my O2 sensors is which because I did print out pinout sheets. I'll show you those in a minute. I'll post a link in the description. A lot of this stuff up front, these other plugs that weren't needed, you start chasing those wires down and they don't go to anything. Like this ground wire comes out of here, goes to here. That's all it does. I will take everything that's not needed out of this harness. I've already taken these things apart. The little clips are easy to get off. The blue cover and green cover. Make sure you keep them marked blue and green because when you take them apart, it's hard to tell. I'll show you how to push the wires out or unpin them and take them out. I'll try to make this as least confusing as possible, but a lot of the clipping and trimming is just going to come from those extra plugs I don't need, running mostly forward of here. So this is where most of it gets cleaned up. A lot of this is going to end up staying back here in its little clumps and groups. If I think I hit a high point you need to see, I'll tune you in. All right, now I'm doing it on the engine, so I know I got the things that I need still plugged in. I may have to cut some of this I already taped up to get out the O2 sensor wires I don't need, because there are going to be 8 wires that run from here back that went to the O2 sensors that I don't need. Okay, but everything else except those 8 wires is all going to come out the front. Now I got these printout or these pinout sheets. These tell you what all the pins are, 1 through 80. This is your green plug or plug number 2. This is your blue plug, plug number 1. I will show you how to wire the OBD2 port up too. I can do that at the end, and I don't need it right now, but I'll need it to start the truck, but I don't have my fuel lines yet either. So anyway, I'll put a link to where I got these from, and I don't know 100% that I need them, but it's nice to have them, and I want to have them. So if I'm in question about the wire's use, maybe I can look on here and it'll help me. Although it is pretty self-explanatory, it's just hard to convince myself. Everything that is not going to something on the engine is not needed here. I have talked to a couple people. I've watched several videos. There are so many videos that are probably way better than this one about how to simplify this harness. But I'm going to show you how I'm doing it on my channel, and it may be some redundant work or undoing some of the tape work I already did, but that's okay. That's just because I was getting a little excited about things. But I'm going to show you a couple wires trimmed out, and then I'm going to get in the zone and relax and start pulling wires out of this harness and just have myself a good time. And be careful cutting all your tape and wires off. Even though we're not going to use some of this stuff, you don't want to slice anything through that you might need. And if you take this all apart in a decent fashion, you'll have a lot of wire left over for other use, as well as pinned wires in case you ever need them. A good reason to hoard all these wires that you take off. Now I'm going to untape all this tape and stuff and be back in a minute. All right, now like take these 2 plugs right here for example. There are 2 gray wires come out of this plug. You follow them across, they just go to this plug. Neither one of those plugs are plugged into the engine. There's 2 gray wires I can snip off and pick out of here. See, now I can go backwards on some of this too. Anything I've got on here, like for bank 2, sensor 2, or bank 1, like there we go, bank 2, sensor 2. Heater circuit, that's for the secondary O2, which I won't be using. So that's like pin 53 on the green plug. I can go ahead and push that out directly from the green plug. Again, number 53 on the green. And then I'm going to do a bunch of this and then come back and show you. So I grab my green plug, look up number 53 on the back, 45. They're all numbers stamped on the back there. Okay, 53. What color wire do I have? I have a purple and white. Oh no, red and white. So number 53 here on the back is this red and white wire that I don't need now. See how you can just push that up from the back and now it's free and you still got your pin. If you want to take it straight from the pin out, you can raise up on this little tab here and pull that back the other way through this clip and remove it that way, or you can just pull it from here, cut the wire, and be done with it. So whatever you want to do, that's how you can do it. You can push them through. I'll try to do one maybe that I'll pull backwards, or maybe I'll just do the same one here real quick and pull it backwards instead and show you how to do that. So there's the red wire in question that I don't need now. If I want to pull it out the back way instead of the front way, bring it back to where it was, or it wouldn't already be out there, so you wouldn't have to. But now raise up on that clip while you pull out. Can you see it? Raise up on that clip and then push this out. Boom. And then you can take it out that way, but either way. Now I'm going to have at this, chill out for a little bit. I'll come back to you, tell you what I ended up having to do and show you what's done, because just pulling the wires out's all this way. All right, now later that same day, you saw me pull that pin out of the computer up there. I followed it back, and as I suspected, I was going to have to cut this one that went down where I said there's one of those is an outside OBD2. All right, as you go through, you're going to have to unbraid it because it's going to be mixed in several different ways, kind of such as like right here where you can't just pull it through. But this went down to the ones that I cut for a downstream O2. So now I've got this whole giant big wire with a pin in it. When I need one to run my OBD2, I've got a nice pin I can reinstall and use. But in the meantime, I'm going to make a big pile over there. Now I'm going to go through and undo a bunch of those, and then I'll come back and tell you, is it truly just what's hooked up to the engine that you need, plus what your injector wires and stuff? So you'll need your pinks and greens, I think. But anyway, yeah, well, they'll be hooked up though, right? So yeah, it'll be hooked up. We're removing things that are not hooked up. So I'm going to trace down the rest of my downstream O2s for that side, remove them. I'll be back in a little bit. Oswald's barking at somebody out there. And now I can work both ways at that. Like I pulled one of those pins out of the computer and I traced it all the way down to this number 2 bank downstream O2. So I know these other 3 aren't going to go. I can trace all 3 of these back to where they pin out all at one time. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to work back and forth at this. I've already got about 6-7 wires out, and I'm only about half crazy. So hang on. You'll see me here a little bit later, and this will be done. I'll show you what all I did again. Okay? Well, all right. I think here it is. Don't be a stupid like me and cut wires you're not supposed to because you don't know. You may not want to thin it out. I like the idea of thinning it out. I took all that stuff out that isn't needed anymore. Got rid of a bunch of crap. I'm going to fix this and I'll come back and show you. But here are my positive and negative. Negative goes to the motor. Negative goes to the frame, positive goes to the starter, positive goes to the fuse block if you have one. This will all join forces, get it off the power steering pump, come back this way and do the transmission, the speedometer, and the upstream O2. Yeah, I got a wire pulled out. I'm going to have to fix that. All right, that's all of this. That's also all of the injectors, the wires that go down to the starter and air conditioning, which I'm leaving the air conditioning for right now, okay? These went to the back. You know where they are. I don't have a flashlight in my hand, sorry. Comes up. this is where that little tray is that made it go round, okay? So when I tape it up here and show you in a minute, it'll all make a lot more sense. Like all these need to be pulled together, and any place that it branches off is like a separate thing. These are my O2 sensor wires for the Bank 2 sensor one, but I cut it. So I have to graft a new pigtail onto there. This is what goes to the mass airflow. That's the transmission. This is up the back for O2s. We'll tie in here. I've got fuel injection system. I've got my drive-by-wire for that computer, which I was an idiot and cut. Don't be an idiot. Don't cut it. That will tie into those computer plugs and all come over here. Okay, so now look how this is all going to come over here. And just wait a minute till you see it with some tape and stuff on it. And yeah, I'm going to use tape. I'm cheap. And then we come up here and we have our computer wires, injector wires and such. Down here we have what plugs into our computer. And now I have kept some of these that I don't know the answers to, like this is 5-volt reference. I don't know why. I might need that or not. Damping lift. I didn't know what that was, so I didn't cut it. Engine speed signal. I might need that for my Speedo. There's a couple VSS's down here. Fuel level secondary, fuel level primary, MIL connect. You know, I don't know what those are. So let me arrange this a little bit, come back and end this. Watch somebody else's video that knows what they're doing. But if you want to learn like I want to learn, I'm taking my time and doing this myself. So hang on, I'll be back in a minute. All right, now I hope you can kind of see this. To make this layout nice, you got to look for the natural bend in the wires, have your tape and your zip ties on the ready. Like these, there's a ground that ties into the back. You'll want to leave that separate, kind of get your green wire out from under there if you can. Run these up together, put some tape on as you go, and you know, leave that one out. Let that stuff run that way. This is going to go to an O2 right here, but this goes all the way up the fender. So yeah, try to make it look like it should flow and belong. I know black tape isn't the best way, but if you tape over your end where you start and then put a zip tie on where you end it, it ain't so bad. Okay, now I'll reveal it all here in a minute, but when you start to get to here, you need to really start getting the tangles out, okay? All right, now that I've got it kind of straightened out here, I've got one computer plug with a couple extras I have questions about. I have my injector and power plug here. I have this plug over here with a couple of wires that I have questions about. You've got to follow the natural bends, like I said before. See where they branch off, tape them up, give it a, in and out and around, and move on from there. So, all right, this wire here plugs into my drive-by-wire computer. All right, it's going to be right here on the fender well, and all this will chime right in there. Okay, alternator wires here, drive-by-wire module here, fuel injectors and keyed power here. Goes to the computer, goes to the computer. These little things I've got hanging off are things I just want to know. Like there's a 5-volt reference. Do I need that? There is requested torque signal. Is that part of the transmission? I don't know what that is, so I want to ask or investigate further. Here's a green one that says Class 2 serial data. I think that's the one I use for my OBD2. Damping lift, okay? These mostly I know are fuel injector power. This plug over here, the other one is transmission. This plug over here, I've got a couple of VSS. I've got a fuel tank pressure. Some of these I think might help my gauges. I've got fuel level, engine speed signal, 2 VSS's. There's those alternator wires again. So anyway, there's a few things there. Now, if you're ready to hook yours up, you might go ahead. I still have to wire in my, the OBD2 plug. I'm going to hook these up as they run across, hook my starter signal up, get my battery wires hooked back up, bolted to the motor. And I might just go ahead and set this in, then we hook up the transmission tomorrow and make this a video. When it comes time to wire what I need wired, I'll have figured out what these extras are. Like I say, if you don't need those extras, you're sure and you know, then move on. I want to learn, so you're having to learn with me if you watched my channel. Hope you did, because my channel's good-ish, you know. I think it's good. But anyway, starter laying down there. That's not important. Air conditioning wires I kept. Low oil pressure, or low oil volume switch I kept. Yeah. Yeah, hell, I might just hook this up, set down in there, get it ready to bolt in. Hang on. Okay, here it is last time before I put it in. Power wire installed, bolted to the bracket on the side. Negative wire just kind of hanging there. Ain't got a clue what that box does. Here's my other ground. It'll go to the frame. This runs down. I bolted it across the front to that bracket. You can't see. Maybe you can see it under there. I bolted that up so all that'll be out of the way. This goes to the alternator. I'm not sure if I need it. It's 2 wires. They'll fall off to the side. I have my drive-by-wire plug. I have my 2 computer plugs and a couple extra wires. Remember, we talked about that. Everything else is still hooked up. I put my new rear seal in. AC wires, I'm going to bundle those up with the starter wires. I do have my low oil pressure or low oil signal thing still hooked up. A lot of people delete that. I still have my air conditioning wires. A lot of people delete those. I have 5 wires here for my O2 sensor. 3 of them are unique, 2 pink ones, both go to the same basic place. I think I only need 1. Anyway, we'll get to that. Here's where we come up and go across and down and around, and transmission wires and left side or bank 1 OBD2. Now, I'm going to drop this in here. I kind of painted a little bit. I kind of cleaned up a little bit. We're going to pull that cross member tomorrow and put the transmixer up to the engine. Right now, I think I can hook this engine up, secure my wires out of the way, and drop this biatch in. If you want to hang on a minute, and this video ain't getting too long, we'll do that. I swear every time I move this motor, another gallon of antifreeze falls out. All right, I've got wires that go up the fender and down to the O2 right there. Over to the computer right here. things that I'm not sure about. Yeah, all the wires are tucked up on top. I'm getting ready to lift this up. I'm going to bring it over here and set it down. I did bolt the motor mounts up. You ready? I'm ready. Okay. There's my LS hanging over the engine bay. I'm going to move those wires out of the way. I'm going to lower this down. I'm going to clear all those brake lines. I got my motor mounts bolted in. I got my exhaust off. Remember, so I could weld my OBD2 or my O2 sensor bungs and shit back on. So we're going to try this view. See what happens. Should go right down and in. Famous last words. Don't need that yet. Not going to do wiring today. Going to install tranny tomorrow. Going to have this running by next week. You betcha. Easy, Stella. Now it's got to go in a little crooked to clear the steering rack, but then I can swing the lift around and we'll catch up to everything that's not falling into place. Right now I'm hitting the the brake booster. So engine scooch time. There we go. Now I'm not. Gonna stop here and get off that air conditioning. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gotta go back up. Hang on. You saw that. There we go. We'll get past that now. Okay. Let's see. Let's put her over here. Watch them transmixer lines. We're clear of the steering over here. We can go back soon. Let's go down first. Always go down if you can. All right, now I'm clear of most everything over here. I'll watch my heater line there. Over here, I'm clear of the steering and most of the wires. So let's go down some more. What that was. Didn't sound good, did it? Okay, now we passed the heater hose. We've maybe pushed the line down. We can go under the, oh yeah, the line's got pushed down a little. Okay, we can work with those. Those are transmission lines. We've got air conditioning plugs we're not using. Putting those AC or those transmission lines in now seems like the right idea. I ain't 100% sure, but it kind of seems right. But they need to be on this, yeah, there we go, this side of the oil pan. All right, we're a long way from ready to go down. Let's go in. Oh, yeah. All right, manifold is not hitting. Exhaust manifold is kind of hitting. And I hope this ain't too boring for you, but I kind of want you to see what you're up against here. My transmission lines are free and floaty, and that's kind of how I want them here. So I'm going to raise them up. I hope you could see that. Now I'm going to come down towards that mount over here. I'm about in the same place over here. Well, yeah. Let's go in. Oh. Let's move. Oh, let's lower a little. Then we'll move around. Ooh, that kind of wanted to go-ish, I think. All right, let's see. What do we got over here? We are almost down on our mount. Oh, and I think that was down. Where, let me find my bolt that holds the motor mount in. They're around here somewhere. I'm sure of it. All right, seriously, Oswald and I both want to know, do these things just hold more coolant than anything you've ever seen in your life? All right, it is with greasy hands and greasy heart that I present to you this, that I have lowered down in. And if you look, you can see the bolt right there, holding the motor in, the engine in. All the wires are easily accessible. All the repairs I still need to make, right there. Hopefully next video we'll have it going. I keep saying OBD2 port's not here, but it's simply because I haven't went to the junkyard and cut it out. If you're in a hurry, like I said, watch somebody else's video. If you want to try to figure out what's going on, so if you break down on the side of the road, you've got an idea. So I tell everybody, get to know your vehicle. When you hear a weird noise or something goes on, you'll know what's happening. All right, so I got stuff bolted up. I got motor mount bolts in, nuts going on. I'll start hooking up steering and things like that. We're going to put the transmission in tomorrow. And I may not have the fuel lines yet or the OBD2 port yet, but I think I can hook up just about everything else. So stay tuned for part 99, 7, 6, something. Anyway, I'll post this up. I'll be back with more. Got a buddy coming over, going to help me put that transmission in, make light work of it. Sure appreciate you. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me for some of the best mediocre automotive content on YouTube. I hope you learned something about wiring today. And if you think this is all just a total waste of your time, yeah, let me know that too. Hell, I don't care. I do care. I appreciate you. And I love you. And like, subscribe, and comment. It's free, easy, and painless. Have a super great day.